So today we had the pleasure of welcoming Neil Buchanan to the Gallery Rouge. And here's the man himself, Neil Buchanan. How did you enjoy it?
It was great. It was a great day. Lots of people coming in, lots of people coming up from Natta. Of course, a few art attackers coming in as well.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. It's always nice to meet people and talk about the pictures. I always think sometimes it's a bit boring when artists start to ramble on about their pickies, but when the people are coming in, they're asking you questions. They always ask you something really original, and they keep you on your toes. So it's been great. It's been tiring but fun.
I mean, a lot of people really enjoy meeting you, and you clearly made a massive impression on people young and old alike. How does that feel to you? I mean, you must be approached so often. How do you handle it?
Well, it's a responsibility that I take very seriously. I always think that I always liken celebrity, if you like, for want of a better word. I always liken it to being the store Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You're in there, you're meeting kids, you're giving them presents, and then you go out onto the street, and if one of them comes up to you, you have to put the beard back on, and you have to go back into the thing. It's very important. I always remember a story that John Lennon from the Beatles, when he was young, when the Beatles were first making it, he came out of the Liverpool Empire, and there was a pile of kids all jumping all over his Rolls Royce, and one of his bouncers said, "Hey, get off!" And he went, No, they paid for that, leave them alone. And I always remember that, and that stuck with me a long time. So I sort of feel that when I meet people and they come up and they want to talk about Art Attack, or they want to talk about me, whatever they want to talk about, it's my responsibility to give them something back, because they've been very loyal to me for 17 years now.
Yeah, you've had quite a gritty upbringing as well, up in the shires of Liverpool, so to speak. I mean, how does it differ from when you were a child back in Liverpool?
Liverpool's changed completely now. It's an awesome place. It went through, when I moved out of Liverpool, probably about 20 years ago, it was really rough, it was really depressed, it was really on its way out. Now, it had the injection several years ago of it being the European City of Culture, which, Liverpool? Liverpool? And it's had a lot of money pumped into it. It's been regenerated like many places, and it's a fabulous place. My family still live up there, so I visit as much as I can. And I go back as much as I can. It's got its personality back, but it's very different from when I was a kid. A lot different. Things then were a lot more simple. You had to make your own entertainment, you had to find your own fun, your own pleasure. Now, everything's on tap for people. It's great, it's brilliant, it's a different world, but it is very different.
So when you were creating this new fantastic debut collection, I suppose you drew back from a lot of your childhood, and that's depicted in many of these images here.
Yeah, the collection's called Hope Street, and I have to say that Hope Street isn't a place, it's a state of mind.
Yeah.
I believe that when I was younger, as I say, things were simpler. You could play conkers without being sued by the other person's lawyer in case you hit them. You could play football in the street without being run over by cars zooming past all the time. I mean, we could play for hours in the street and you wouldn't see a car. You could play hide and seek and be gone for hours without your parents worrying and thinking, I must contact him on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
So things were simpler. I think for children, for kids, for young people, for teenagers, there was a lot more hope. So I drew on this when I was creating my collection, and I want to take the viewer, I took myself back to a place when I think there was a lot more hope. In those days, kids lived on, I think, Hope Street. Sadly, nowadays they live in a different type of street, so to speak. But it's a nice title. The coincidence is that I went to a school, the Liverpool Institute, as it was called then. It's now called LIPA, the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, and it was bought by Paul McCartney. So Paul now owns it. Fabulous place. He's regenerated the whole thing. It's a centre of excellence for creative people, for performers, for musicians, for actors. It's a fabulous place, and the coincidence is that it's on Hope Street. Fantastic. So I did go to a school on Hope Street, but that's not where it came from. I didn't intentionally call it that because I went to school. It was a state of mind.
Yeah, and the subject matter in the pieces that you have here, there are two core characters here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the characters, a lot of people, interestingly, pointed out today, when you look at the pictures, you can't see their faces. What I've done is I've painted them from an angle whereby whatever activity they're doing, however they're interacting with each other, you can't see their faces. You can't quite see their faces. Now, this is twofold. First of all, as an artist, it's a real challenge to paint people and to paint and try to communicate what they're talking about, what they're saying, what they're doing with each other, without actually seeing their faces. It's a difficult one. So it's all about body language and posture. So that's a real challenge. The other thing is I didn't want to put the faces in because I'm taking the viewer on a nostalgic trip through childhood. These paintings aren't about those two kids in the picture. They're about what they're doing. It's about childhood. And so I didn't want to put faces on them because when I say to you, I want to take you on a trip down memory lane, childhood, you've got quite a different view than I have, or the next person's got a different view. So I didn't want to say to you, this is who these people are. I want you to say, actually, that could be me. So that's why I kept the faces on.
Fantastic. No, I couldn't not speak with you and not talk about something that has become, well, basically a lot of your byproducts, Art Attack. How do you feel about Art Attack? How does it, when you look back on your time at Art Attack, how does it make you feel?
Seriously privileged. Someone pointed out to me the other day, they said, do you realise that you've actually affected an awful lot of people, you've inspired an awful lot of people? And I sort of looked behind and said, who are you talking about? All I did was, I went out with a pencil and I'm just some scouser who went out and did some drawings, but I think what I did is I found a level to do it on that everyone identified with. And I just did it as if I was doing it with you, I said, hey mate, here, you want to draw something? I'll show you how to do it. There you go. And the way I did it, I wanted people to go, whoa, yeah, I understand that, or that's easy, or there's a little trick in there, there's a technique that I understand. So it seemed to touch a lot of people, and I do believe in everyone there's a good idea. I think everyone has got a good idea inside them. That just so happened to be my good idea. It hit a spot. We won a BAFTA in the first series, which really helped, and then it went through the roof and everyone got it. But it was a real privilege, and when people say, at the end of the day, when you're dead and buried and you're gone, at least you made a difference, and isn't it great if you can say that about your life? So yeah, I take it very seriously. The loyalty that was shown to me during that period of time is something that I feel very grateful for.
Yeah, and you take a couple of other things very seriously as well, don't you? Yeah, art isn't just your only passion, is it?
No, I'm quite passionate. I mean, when I was a lot younger, I was very passionate about football. Coming from Liverpool, of course, you had to be. When I was a kid, you were either going to be a famous footballer or a famous pop star. I decided, being ambitious, I wanted to be both. I was good at football, but I wasn't good enough. But I was better at playing the guitar. When I first started out, when I was about 9, I formed my first band, in inverted commas. And I sort of combined my creativities, my art with my music in those days, and I made some cardboard cut-out guitars, and me and my mates, we used to sit there and we used to play these guitars in inverted commas, and we'd be going hoping people wouldn't actually see that we were making the noise, but we were only 9, so that was great fun. Our first gig, we charged threepence to get in, 3 old p, threepence. And then, of course, all the mums came and complained at the end of the day to my mum, and we had to give the money back. But that was my first business venture. So
Entrepreneur at a young age.
Absolutely, so I was very proud of that. But no, we went on and we stuck with it. We bought guitars, we got Saturday jobs, paper rounds. We eventually formed a band. And we eventually went out to prove we were the best band in Liverpool, and we won the first ever Battle of the Bands competition, which I guess was the equivalent of the first ever X Factor.
Oh, wow.
And we won it. We proved we were the best band in Liverpool, but we won the whole nationwide thing. So we were sort of the best band in the UK. We got a record deal. We went off to the States. We played in all the stadiums to 20,000 people every night. We made it. We were riding around in limos, Learjets, but we were ripped off.
Oh.
So we were very young. One minute we were in Los Angeles, sunning ourselves in the beach. We had hit albums. The next minute we were back in Liverpool on the dole. So for a brief time, I had a little flirt with rock and roll and the rock and roll lifestyle.
Phenomenal.
It was.
So what does the future hold for you? I mean, you've got the new collection. What do you want to do as the next evolution of your life?
Still be a rock star, I think.
Still playing gigs?
Yeah, we are. We got the band back together. We hit a very big age, all of us. No, I'm not going to tell you.
I don't know. I want to ask.
I'm not going to tell you. Hey, no, how rude. No, I'm not going to tell you at all. But it was a big one. It was a very big one. It was sort of halfway stage to something else, but
40's not that old.
Only there's 30. But we decided to get the band back together again, and so we're growing old disgracefully. We do gigs, we do festivals. We've made an album called Unfinished Business, because of course it was. But as far as the artist is concerned, Art Attack's done now. I did 500, 17 years, 20 series, 2,000 ideas. And with the 500th show, the madness was starting to get me down. I thought, it's time to maybe pack it in. I've said everything that I want to say. I don't want to repeat myself. So I let it go, put my pencil down, and I thought, I'm going to start doing it for me now. Because I've done 17 years of dogs, cats, ballerinas, footballers, Tyrannosaurus Rex, sharks, snakes. I decided now was the time to maybe do some fine art. So that's what the Hope Street collection's about. It's about me doing some art from me, for myself, and hopefully people would appreciate it. And would you believe that after 17 years, I still used to get people coming up to me in the street. They saw me do it on telly, they saw Art Attack, they knew it very well, and they'd still come up to me in the street and say, "Hey Neil, saw you on telly last night, Art Attack, it's awesome. Can you really draw?"
Yes.
And I say, well, if I can't draw, surely we get the guy that does it on the telly. But that's what this collection was about. It was about me actually saying, look, have a look, have a look at it yourself, see what you think, see if you think I can do it. So, do you think I can do it?
I think definitely you can. We've really, really appreciated you coming down. We've had a fantastic day today. We're privileged and honoured to be working with you, and we look forward to many, many years of seeing your art develop and coming through.
Put the champagne on ice, and I'll be back with you sometime in the new year.
Great, man. Neil.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much. Bye now.